Assalamualaikum to our lecturer, Tuan Hilmi. So today, our group would like to present problem-based tasks for the subject Open Source Server Administration. My name is Muhammad Idil Muhammad Ibrahim, and here are my group members. For the first thing is introduction. So I will not read all this paragraph right here, but instead I will just summarize it. So the three banana nations Sindrian Berhad want to protect their internal data by not using the external email for the communication. So the thing is here, we need to do the configuration such as mail service, applying SSL, TLS encryption, and enforcing the user authentication. This is to make sure that the company will have more secure in their data and communication. Okay, so for the objective here, we need to do to replace the third-party email service with an internal system to ensure data privacy, reliable communication, and full administrative control to the company. And next is the requirement planning. We need to design and implement secure internal mail server for the company Three Banana Nation Sdn Berhad. And first, we need to know the hard the the suitable hardware, software, network, and DNS configurations. So this is the first is for hardware and network requirements to do this task, and then the software requirement as you can see here. I will not explain too much about here because there are too many of them, and you can read from here. The IP address scheme and DNS configuration. This is to make sure that uh, the internal only communication between all the members in the company with using the private addressing schema that is written here. And below is the DNS because example. Next, another thing to another important thing to note is using the right network ports. So all the ports need to be blocked by the firewall to prevent unauthorized access for the from the external user or whatever it is. So this is the ports that we use. Next, I will explain the Linux firewall function. It is same as Windows firewall, which is to allow some traffic while the other traffic will be blocked the access. This is to make sure we will have more secure and reliable communication and data service. Why this the Linux firewall is important? It is because to have only authorized service and to make sure external access is blocked to keep email communication confined to the internet network and to prevent potential threats such as malware, spam, and unauthorized logging attempts before reaching the mail servers inside the company. Next, I will explain the how the firewall works in Linux. So first, the packet that enters or exits network will be intercepted by the firewall, and then the firewall will inspect the packet to check the source and destination IP address, port number, and protocol type. And then it will do rule match to match with the system administrator. And then it will decide whether to allow, to block, or to drop the packets. And then there are inbound traffic and outbound traffic. Inbound traffic is to ensure that only legitimate requests can reach the email server, while the outbound traffic ensure that data leave the network is going trusted destinations only.
Allow, block or filter packets. The firewall uses predefined rules to decide the fate of each packet. The first one, allow, it permits the packet to pass through if it matches trusted criteria, for example SMTP from internal network. Second, block, silently discards the packets if it is deemed suspicious or unauthorized. Third, reject, block the packet and sends an error response back to the sender. Fourth, filter, it logs the packet for analysis without necessarily allowing or blocking it. This process ensures that only safe and necessary traffic can interact with the mail server. IP tables, tables, chains and rules. IP tables is a command line firewall utility built into Linux that controls packet filtering, NAT, and packet manipulation. It is composed of tables, chain, and rules. First one, tables, categories of packet processing. Filter, default table for allowing, blocking, or rejecting packets. NAT, used for NAT, for example, port forwarding, IP masquerading. Mangle, used for packet modification, for example, changing headers. RAW, used for configuring packets that bypass connection tracking. Second, chains, paths packet take based on their direction. Input handles packets coming into the server. Output handles packets leaving the server. Forward handles packet passing through the server to another destination. Pre-routing or post-routing used in NAT for packet redirection before or after routing. Third, rules, conditions that define firewall behavior. Each rule specifies criteria, for example, source IP, destination port, protocol, and an action, for example, accept, drop, and reject. Example IP tables rules. These rules ensure that only mail-related traffic is permitted, while all other requests are blocked, securing the internal mail system. Firewall and security planning for mail server. To protect the internal mail infrastructure of 3 banana nations, a strict firewall strategy is required. The goal is to allow only essential mail traffic within the LAN, block all external access, and ensure complete internal data privacy. Firewall security objectives. It allows only SMTP, IMAP, POP3, HTTPS, mail-related services inside the internal network. Second, block all external access from outside networks, which is internet or unknown sources. Prevent unauthorized access, brute force attacks, and data leakage. Monitor and control input or output traffic using IP tables. Allowed internal mail ports. All other ports must be blocked to protect the mail server from unauthorized access. SMTP, the protocol is TCP, port 25. The purpose, sending internal emails, postfix. IMAPs, protocol is TCP, port 993, and the purpose is secure mail retrieval, Dovecot IMAP. POP3S, TCP, port 995, it's secure email retrieval, Dovecot POP3. HTTPS, protocol TCP, port 443, purpose, webmail, round queue. IP tables firewall rule design. It shows here input rules, incoming traffic to the server, then output rules, outgoing responses from the server, and the forward rules, forwarded traffic through the server. This is the network diagram, internal mail server and firewall flow, 3 banana nations LAN, to firewall, to mail server, and then to internal email clients, PCs, and IMAP.
So configuration of internal mail server. This slide introduces the configuration of our internal mail server for 3Banana Nation. We use Linux with Postfix as the mail transfer agent for sending emails and Dovecot as the mail delivery agent for receiving emails. SSL and TLS is added for secure communication, so email are only exchanged safely within our internal network. In this step, I prepared the Linux server by updating the system and setting the hostname to mailtbns.local and adding it to the host file. Then I installed the required packages like Postfix, Dovecot, OpenSSL, and MariaDB. Lastly, I configure Postfix as the mail transfer agent to send emails securely within the internal network. Step, I configure Dovecot, which acts as the email delivery agent. I enable IMAP and POP3 so users can access their mail and disable plain text login to improve security. Then I set up SSL and TLS encryption using OpenSSL to create a self-signed certificate, ensuring that all email communication between the client and server is encrypted and secure. So in this step, I create user accounts for the mail server such as Alice, Bob, and Manager. Each user is given a username and password so they can log in and access their own mailbox. This step is important to control who can use the mail server and to ensure secure authentication within the system. This step I enable and start both Postfix and Dovecot service so they can automatically run every time the server boots. This ensures that the mail system stays active even after a restart. After that, I tested the setup internally by sending a test email using the command line from one user to another within the local network. This confirmed that the mail server is working properly for sending and receiving email inside the organization. So implementation and documentation. Um, the main goal is to deploy a secure internal online mail system using Postfix for sending Dovecot for receiving and SSL/TLS for encrypted communication. The network setup includes a LAN within the IP range 192.168.10.0/24, a mail server at 192.168.10.10, and a firewall or gateway at 192.168.10.1 control access. This ensures that all email communication is limited to the local network and fully protected. This step I prepared the system by updating and setting the hostname for the mail server. Then I installed all required packages including Postfix, Dovecot, MariaDB, OpenSSL, and Apache 2 for web support. After installation, I configured Postfix, which works as the mail transfer agent to handle sending emails securely. This includes setting the domain name, enabling TLS for encryption, and defining the internal network range for mail delivery. So in this step, I configured Dovecot, which function as the mail delivery agent. I enable IMAP and POP3 so users can access their emails through mail clients and disable plain text authentication for better security. Next, I generate a self-signed SSL TLS certificate using OpenSSL to encrypt email communication between users and the mail server. This ensures that all data sent or received remain secure within the internal network.
So let's see the round cube webmail installation in this coding. Then this is the firewall IP tables configuration and mail flow example routine. So let's see the testing and verification, the configuration. Then got troubleshooting guide. See this, the schedule Dovecot active failed loaded successfully. So let's see a security testing and validation configuration. And this is the network topology and diagram, which is the internal clearance and to LAN switch router, to firewall gateway and mail server, until to internal clearance fetch mail via IMAP, POP3 and HTTPS. The conclusion is the implementation of an internal mail system successfully ensures secure, private, and reliable communication across all departments within 3 banana nations. By hosting postfix and Dovecot internally, the organization eliminates reliance on third-party email providers and strengthens protection against data breaches. Future enhancements such as deploy fail-to-ban or IDS IPS for brute force protection, integrate LDAP or Active Directory for centralized user management, enable mail backup and archiving for compliance and retention, implement spam filtering, spam assassin, CRAM AV for internal threat mitigation, and introduce redundancy and high availability HA using secondary mail relay server. So that's for all. Thank you.